We're going to go over some Aura Academy methods today. I'm going to start by just pulling up some things here. So that'll give people a chance to flow into the live. So nice to be here with you. We're going to be doing these on a regular basis, so be sure to tune in. I'll try to make announcements before I go live. I'm having a cold brew with almond milk latte. I also put honey in it. Does anybody else do that? It makes it taste so good. And of course, I have some alkaline water here to stay hydrated. So if you're already familiar with Aura, that's wonderful. Some of you may be new here, and I just want to give you a brief origin. Aura is all about inspired living. So we have an academy, we have a magazine, we have curated collections, we have an online presence in terms of a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. And I just want to do these live sessions where I can go over some of the Aura Academy sacred methods. I feel like that's really helpful because, for one thing, you might be interested in enrolling in Aura Academy, or you might just want to get some of the valuable wisdom and information that we have in the academy. Either one is great because that's why I created this academy in the first place. I wanted people to have access to the things that I've learned over the years. So, of course, it's going to make me do two-step authentication. It's like I thought I was already logged in, so all of this was set up already, but apparently not. So here we go. It's fine. You have to expect these kinds of things, and that's what going live is all about. It's unfiltered. It's just you go with the flow, and that's life, right? So that kind of teaches us that we have to be ready for whatever's coming next. And then I didn't come up with what I want to talk about today. I just figured I'm going to go and look through the methods. I'm going to follow my intuition and see what speaks to me. We have a sacred and savage method, clarity method, magnetic method, break up to level up method, so many different methods in the Aura Academy. Any method that you want, it's self online, so you complete it as you feel you have the energy to do so. You get a certification at the end once you complete the method, and we want to inspire you to go on to share that. So you're welcome to teach the methods. You're welcome to create content with them. You can host events. You can host retreats. And we have Whisper, our Aura AI conscious companion, on the website, auracurated.com. And you can have Whisper create an entire framework for your course or your workshop, your retreat, whatever you decide to do. That way, you don't feel like you're doing it on your own. Also, while you're completing the courses, if you have any questions, you can go right in there, type in your question, chat it up with Whisper, and she's more than happy to help you with anything that you might need. So I'm pulling up the courses right now. And like I said, it's auracurated.com in case you want to pull it up while I'm talking. auracurated.com. And I think that we're going to talk about the magnetic method. That's what I'm feeling today. So let's see. First, when you enter the course, after you've signed up, you will see a welcome section, which is like an introduction. So I'm just going to read the introduction to you so that you have an idea what you're getting yourself into. The magnetic shift. The moment you stop chasing and start radiating. Welcome to the beginning of your magnetism era. This isn't about becoming something you're not. It's more so about slipping back into the truth of who you've always been. Quietly, powerful, softly electric, the kind of woman whose presence rearranges the room without saying a word. In this course, we're not handing you a script, we're unlocking your frequency, the one that makes people lean in without knowing why. The one that turns glances into offers, conversations into confessions, and ordinary days into sacred invitations. You're going to learn how to alchemize your standards into siren songs, how to glow without explanation, how to make your no feel like a velvet rope and your yes feel like a reward. This is where women stop begging to be seen and start becoming unforgettable. Let's begin. So you've probably heard about magnetism. Aura, think of aura. So when you walk into a room, what does your presence say to the room? How do people automatically feel about you without knowing anything about you? They might not even know your name. They might not know where you're from. They might not know your background, but something about you pulls them in. They say, what's going on there? I need to know more about that. And when you're creating an offer of some sort, whether that be, your own business, your own online course, whether you're hosting retreats, you're always trying to attract new people. That's natural. You're trying to attract business. You're trying to attract customers, opportunities, investors. So next we're going to look at the foundation, which is module 1, and it's called Rooted and Radiant. Groundedness, inner stability, and self-belonging. Here's the grounding introduction. This is where we begin by coming home to yourself. Before you can expand, glow, or rise, you must first root. Rooting is what allows radiance to be sustainable. Without roots, radiance becomes a performance. We don't want to perform. But when you are rooted, radiance becomes a truth. So without you thinking in advance what you want to say, kind of like what I did today, I was like, I'm going live at 12. I'm going to talk to the audience. I'm going to connect with you. I'm going to dive into the sacred methods. I'm going to follow my intuition and see which one speaks to me. And I'm just going to present it to you. This module invites you to remember that your power does not come from being busy, needed, or seen. It comes from your grounded presence, your quiet inner clarity. I love that I mentioned clarity here because, like I told you, we have a clarity method if you need more practice and skill in that area. And your ability to self-source safety and direction. To be rooted is to no longer chase a sense of belonging. I think we've all done that at some point. Even in grade school, it's like you want to fit in with this group. You want to be accepted by that group. You want this club. To be radiant is to let your own energy speak before you even say a word. So let this be the foundation. Then we move into the core teaching. This is where rootedness creates radiance. When you are rooted, your nervous system feels safe. From this place, your voice softens, your decisions sharpen, and your energy begins to glow with something unmistakable: embodiment. You are the living essence. Rootedness is about being anchored. You can sway, you can dance, you can change, but you are not at the mercy of every wind that blows. You know where you stand. You trust your pace. You belong to yourself. This is important because this is self-concept, and self-concept is built from self-trust. And when you trust yourself, you're not worried about other people's opinions. You know what your ethics and morals and values and boundaries and standards are. And you operate from that place. People admire that and they think, wow, how can I be more like that? You belong to yourself. I'll say that again. You belong to yourself. Say, my energy is my own. My body is my own. My essence is my own. My soul is my own. My spirit is my own. I call all of my energy back to me. I break all contracts. I cut all cords. Reclaim yourself, because we leave bits and pieces of ourselves because of relationships, breakups, betrayals, all of that. You have to pull that back to yourself. And then you won't feel that sense of emptiness anymore, and you won't seek out validation from others. Radiance then becomes a natural extension. It's not this forced brightness. It's not a constant cheerfulness. That's not realistic. It's a calm confidence that emanates from within. People can sense this. People can feel this. Once again, it's your aura. When you step into the room, you either have a strong presence, or you seem intimidated, you seem meek, you seem shy. That's not what you want. You want confidence. And if other people are intimidated by your confidence, so be it. You have to get comfortable with that. So don't look to be polished all the time, sounding wise all the time. You just need to feel safe in your own being and allow your presence to become a soft beam of light in every room you enter. Let me take a drink here. I'm talking a lot. No perfection needed. For the perfectionists out there, and believe me, it's hard not to be one. If that's your true nature, it's like you want everything to be right all the time. And sometimes it's going to be wrong. Sometimes you're going to mess up. Sometimes you're going to make a mistake. Allow it. Acceptance and allowing is another thing that I teach, because I feel like it's so important to master that, because the art of allowing and acceptance, accepting yourself for who you are, accepting others for who they are, they're at their own place on their journey. You're at your own place on your journey, and you're going to go at your own pace on your journey. And so are they. And sometimes when we're doing our inner work, we want other people to be doing their inner work at the same rate that we are. That's not realistic. So rooted and radiant really means that you know how to come back to yourself. You can discern noise from truth. There's always going to be a lot of chatter, gossip, people saying whatever they want to say. Accept it, allow it, keep moving forward. And you understand the sacred power of your no, your pause, your breath, your sacred no. That's another thing that I talk about a lot, because saying no has so much power in it. And you're not being mean when you say no. You're standing on your boundaries. And every time you say no, because you've already in your mind set this boundary, you know that whatever this thing is not aligned with your energy. You can forgive yourself. You don't need to feel guilty. You don't need to weigh yourself down with that. This moment is about remembering who you are underneath the roles, the masks, the pressure, and the pace. We've all experienced pressure. We've all experienced the mask, the roles. If you've had a job, if you've gone to school, university, if you've had to join different organizations and things like that, you're expected to carry yourself a certain way, dress a certain way, act a certain way, speak a certain way, and that can take over. The mask becomes you, and then you think you are the mask, but you're not. What are you underneath of that? If you were to take that off completely, put it aside, what do you have left? What remains? So next we have affirmations. So let's do some of these affirmations. You can say them, you can jot them down for later, but it's really important to have affirmations, because during those moments where you're feeling a little uncertain, you can refer back to these affirmations. You can say them aloud, keep them in your journal, or simply repeat them in silence. I belong to myself. I am grounded, steady, and safe. My presence is enough. I radiate from the inside out. I do not chase, I choose. My glow is sacred, not performative. I protect my peace like a garden gate. That's a beautiful image. My body is my home. My breath is my anchor. I am allowed to slow down. I am allowed to rise. Affirmations often give you permission. And believe it or not, a lot of times we have to give ourselves permission because when we're children, we're always waiting for permission to do something. We always have to ask first and then be told that it's okay. And sometimes we're rebels and renegades and we go do our own thing. And actually, that can be helpful because in adulthood, you already know how to do it. But if you're someone who really followed the rules as a child, it can be hard to get outside of yourself. So, affirmations can really help with that. And in each one of our sacred methods, we have a section for journal prompts. So, it's good to take your journal. This is our Aura Sacred Journal from our Aura Scribe collection. This one is the Golden Orchard design, and it says "Stay Inspired" on the cover. It has the Aura logo on the back. And then inside, there's just blank pages. I mean, obviously, I've written on some because this is my journal, but there are blank pages that are lined. You can write your affirmations, you can write your daily entry, you can write your dreams, your goals, your desires, your gratitude, any of that. So I'm going to tell you the journal prompts from this method, and you can either just listen or you can write them down if you'd like. Prompts are invitations inward. So just answer them honestly, and there's no need to be polished. Here's the first one. Where in my life do I feel most grounded? So you can write that down if you want. The second one is, where do I feel most unrooted or disconnected from myself? Be honest. Be very honest with yourself. The next one is, what does radiance mean to me beyond aesthetics? So we're not talking about that glow that you have after you've just done your get ready with me. No. What does true radiance mean? If you've observed this in others or even in yourself, define that. The next one, when do I feel the most like myself? There's no right or wrong answer to this. It could be when you're in your PJs, cuddled up in bed with a book. It could be when you're just binge watching your favorite show, laughing at the characters. It could be when you're spending time with a friend, grabbing a matcha, chatting it up. It could be when you're with your pet, maybe you're walking your dog or, cuddling with your cat or whatever. Like whatever it is, when do you feel the most like yourself? Next is, what people, spaces, or habits support my rootedness? What people, spaces, or habits support my rootedness? Now, what I mean by this is there are people that make you feel a little shaky, a little uneasy. You might get nervous around them. You might feel anxiety. There are places that sometimes maybe feel overwhelming, overstimulating. But then there are other people where you just feel calm, cool, and collected when you're in their presence. There are places that just make you feel at peace. And it's important to find or create those spaces. So it could be out in nature, it could be a space in your home, and habits that support your rootedness. This could be your workout routine, your meditation routine, a nice bath or shower, some self-care, whatever that is. If you're writing it down, go ahead and write that down. The next one is, what people, spaces, or habits pull me away from it? Now, this might take a little bit of time for you to think about because sometimes we lie to ourselves because we feel obligated to people, to spaces, to habits. It might just be someone you've known since childhood, but you know that they don't make you feel your best when you're around them. And the spaces, it might be a place where you have to go every day for whatever reason. And you know that it doesn't really make you feel like you're rooted in your true self. and even the habits. It might be a dependency that you have that you know you'd be better off without. And the last one is, what would it look like to glow quietly with no need to be seen? And this comes back to that self-concept once again, because glowing quietly means you don't need external validation. You're just living in your glow. You're embodying it for yourself. It's not for anyone else. So you don't need to be seen. It's fine if you are, but you're not dependent on it. So from there, we move on to the practices. And I'm going to go over these practices. Once again, you can take notes if you want, or just listen along. These are daily or weekly invitations, and you can just choose what resonates. That's the other thing about these methods. It's very flexible. I don't want this to feel like school, even though it is. You're learning, right? But you're doing it at your own pace, and you're doing what makes you feel the most comfortable, because that's really what it's all about. The first one is breathe as an anchor. So your breath as the anchor, coming back to your breath. Go ahead and place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Breathe in deeply for 4 counts, and then hold for 4, release for 4. And do this for 2 minutes, some other time. You know, that's why I said you can take notes on this and come back to it, but we'll do it once here. And let your breath remind you that you are here in this present moment. So you breathe in deeply for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. And these are deep belly breaths. So you breathe in and you hold it and you breathe out. And you keep doing that for about 2 minutes or whatever feels good to you. Then we have the root to rise pose. So this is a standing grounding practice. It's very important to ground yourself. So you stand with your feet hip width apart. You close your eyes. You imagine roots growing down from your feet into the earth. And with each breath, you feel your legs firm, your spine lift, and then you let yourself sway slightly and whisper, I am rooted. I am radiant. I am rooted. I am radiant. This is what the trees do. The trees are rooted. Their roots go deep. Their branches sway. They withstand storms. They withstand time. Think about the ancient trees and how beautiful and magnificent and radiant they are. I love this practice, actually, and I hope you do these on your own. Next, we have digital clearing. Clean out one folder on your phone or computer. Let it symbolize releasing clutter that pulls you away from your inner stillness. We know how important this digital detox is. We're calling it a digital clearing here. You're clearing that digital space out. So instead of seeing it as this overwhelming process where you have to take on everything, that's why I said clear out one folder on your phone or computer. Don't try to do both. Don't try to do it all at the same time. Choose one and say, I'm going to do this for me. See it as a gift to yourself and let it symbolize releasing the clutter that pulls you away from your inner stillness. So this could even be your text messages. There could be text messages in there from an ex. There could be text messages in there from an old friendship that no longer serves you. You don't need it anymore. You can release it. Give yourself permission to release. And lastly, we have a radiance ritual. Light a candle in the morning with no intention to do anything, just be. Let the flame mirror your energy, steady, warm, quietly powerful. So by doing this, you're just allowing yourself to be present in the moment, to be still, to be quiet. Maybe you sit there and you look at the flame for a little while, and that's your meditation. You're not focused on anything. You're not trying to do anything or prove anything. You're just lighting a candle. It's simple, very simple practice. Sometimes we have to bring it back to simplicity, right? So now we're going to do the reflection. And this is all part of module 1, just so you know. So we're here in the Aura Magnetic Method in Aura Academy, just to recenter ourselves. We're going through module 1. We've done the foundation, the core teaching, the affirmations, the journal prompts, the practices, and now we're going to do the reflection. This is called the mirror of self-belonging. Stand before a mirror in stillness and look into your own eyes and say softly, I am not waiting to arrive. I am already here. It's so powerful. Notice how it feels. Don't rush it. Just notice it. Let your gaze soften. Look at yourself like you love yourself, like you'd look at someone that you're deeply in love with, because you are deeply in love with yourself, even if you don't feel it yet. You have to allow yourself to feel it. You have to open yourself to that feeling. Touch your heart. Close your eyes. Smile maybe if you feel it or not. And whisper, I am rooted. I am home. Let's do another breath. I hope you've enjoyed this Aura Sacred Method from Aura Academy. This isn't the whole method. This is just module 1 from the method, but I wanted to walk you through it so you have an idea of how these methods are presented. Online courses, self-paced, auracurated.com. Of course, the link is in the bio. You can check out everything that we offer. Like I told you, we have journals, we have home decor, we have apparel, we have everything to elevate your everyday. And I hope you'll check it out and visit us again soon. We're going to be going live together. This is our community for inspired living. See you soon, my loves.